So we are in chapter 10. So shloka number 30 is from where we are going to continue today. Pralhadaschasmi daityanam kalah kalayatamaham mriganam cha mrigendroham vainateyascha pakshinam. So the doubt is there, Pralhada or Prahlada. So the rules are given that Panini, he wrote the sutras of grammar, and then the Mahabhashya for that sutras was written by Patanjali, in which he mentioned certain rules for these kind of combinations. The Hakara and now the Lakara is coming. We say the La to be the Lakara and Ha to be the Hakara. In this instance, we will use the La first. That is the correct way of saying. Pralhadaschasmi. Like that we will say. People do say Prahlada, it is okay, but it is by convention also. Certain words we will say by convention. So Prahlada will be the correct. In case we take this word Jihva, which means tongue, then you don't say the verb first. Jivha we don't say. So it will change. It is not one constant rule. So here he talks about 4 more things. We know Prahlada is the son of Hiranyakashipu. He was son of the Daitya. But Krishna says, I am Prahlada because why? Even though he was born in such a family, he was a great bhakta. So it doesn't matter which circumstance you are in. You can always do the good things. That's why he takes him as an example. And even if the people around you are saying non-worshippers of God, they are not going the spiritual path, your friends are not spiritual people, it is okay. You can be in this direction because it is the correct thing to do. Sometime later, they may be influenced by you. So we should not go in that way. So Prahlada is taken as an example here. Prahladaschasmi Daityanam. Daitya means the demons. I am Prahlada among the Daityas or the demons. Kalaha kalayatamaham. So Kalayata meaning of all that controls, I am Kala. Why? Because Kala, the time will record everything. And you know that, oh, on this date, such a thing happened. So there is a timestamp. And based on the timestamp only, our karmas are also recorded. So what is controlling us is basically the time also. So I am that, whatever controls, I am time. Like that he says. Kalam kalayatamaham mriganam cha mrigendroham. Mrigendra means it is the lion. They are talking about the lion here. And mrigana means amongst the animals. So why he is saying that the lion is the king? What is the reason he is saying? It is said that even in the dream, the lion will not have self-pity on himself. It will not think like, Ekoham, I am alone. It will not think, Asayoham, don't have anybody to help me. Like that it will not think. And Krishoham, oh, I am so thin, I am not like the elephant, so mighty. So this kind of thoughts will never come to the lion. Your thoughts should be the thoughts of strength. It should not be thoughts that will bring you down. So that's why the lion is considered to be the king of animals, and I am that, he says. And then, Vainateyascha Pakshinam. So here he is talking about Garuda, who is the son of Vinita. So Garuda is a representation of determination and strength and also selflessness. Krishna says, among all the birds, Garuda is my manifestation. So he talks about Vainateyascha Pakshina. So these were the 4 things that has been talked about here. The general translation is, I am Prahlada amongst the demons. Amongst all that controls, I am time. Know me to be the lion amongst animals and Garuda amongst the birds. Shloka number 31. Pavanaf pavatamasmi Ramashastra-bhritamaham Jhashanam makaraschasmi Srotasamasmi janhavi. Talks about 4 more things here. He talks about Pavanaha. Pavanaha, we know it is the wind. He says that Pavanaha Pavatamasmi. Pavata means of all that purifies, the wind is the best purifier. Why? Because wind will support everything, like the burning of the fire, water gets converted to vapor, and all the things in the earth and all the odors which is caused, it will purify. So I am Pavanaha, I am the wind among all purifiers, and that I am, he says. Then he says, Ramaha Shastrabritam Aham. So Shastrabritam means the person who carries the weapon, the carrier of a weapon. So Rama, we know that he had the Shastra. And how Rama used it was for Dharma. He was doing it in the right way. So why he is bringing Rama here as his manifestation is to say that you must have the weapon and use it in the righteous way. That is why he says, I am Rama. Ramaha Shastra Britamaham. Then Jashana Makaraha Chasmi. So Jashana, of all the aquatics, of all the beings in the water, Makaraha, crocodile. Some books it's also given as sharks. Basically it means water monster. So Makaraha will take it as crocodile because it is very powerful. We know that. And Shrotasam Asmi Jannavi. Shrotasam means it is the flowing rivers. I am Jannavi. Jannavi means the Ganges. We all know the story of how she got this name. When Bhagirath was doing the penance for his ancestors to be emancipated, he had to bring Ganges down to the earth. And while Ganga was flowing down on earth, she tried to play a prank on sage Janu. So sage Janu, he drank all of the Ganges, and Bhagirath had to pray again for her to be released. And because she came out of the ears of the sage Janu, she was known as Jannavi. This is referring to the Ganges. And we know that Ganges is one of the most pure amongst the flowing rivers. So that is what he is mentioning here. The general translation is, amongst purifiers, I am the wind. Amongst the wielders of weapons, I am Lord Rama. Of water creatures, I am crocodile. And of flowing rivers, I am Ganges. Shloka number 32. Sarganamadirantashcha madhyam chaivaham arjuna adhyatma vidya vidyanam vadah pravadatamaham. So here he says, Sarganam adihi antaha cha madhyam cha. So of all the creations, he is saying that I am the middle, beginning and the end. So always we have to take the example of the ornament, gold ornament. When the gold ornament is created, the gold is there. When the gold ornament exists, the gold is there. When the gold ornament is melted, it goes back into the gold. So all the time what was there? Gold. So this is God. This is Ishvara. So I am the beginning, middle and the end of all the creations. That is what he is saying. Sarganam. Sarganam means creation. Sarganam adihi antaha cha madhyam cha eva aham Arjuna. Indeed, I am all this, Arjuna. Know this. And then Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam. Adhyatma Vidya. What is Adhyatma Vidya? Knowledge about the self. Knowledge about the self is known as the Paravidya, the higher Vidya. And all other things we do in the world, we learn, all other sciences that we learn is known as the Aparavidya. It is for the use in this world only. And we have to go beyond that. That is the higher knowledge, Atma Vidya. He's saying, of all the Vidyas, I am Atma Vidya. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says, suppose there are 5 zeros or something. The zeros will have no value unless you put a 1 in the beginning. Know that 1, that is the root of everything. Then truth becomes self-evident to you. Put the number 1 first and then add the zeros to it. This done, the zeros have their value. Ishvara is number 1. The universe and the beings are the zeros appended to it. Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam. Amongst the sciences, I am the science of Atma. And then Vadaha Pravadatamaham. Pravadatam means it is the debates. And he is talking about Vadaha. Vadaha means it is a kind of a debate. That is, there are 3 types of debates. So first is Vadaha. Vadaha is 2 people will argue to get to the truth. So in those days, it used to happen a lot. There used to be a Paksha, that is your side, and Pratipaksha. The opponent will be arguing, but both of them will not have any enmity towards each other. They will just do the debate to know the truth. So the second type of argument is known as jalpaha, in which what will happen is you don't listen to the others. You say, I am right. That is called jalpaha. And the third type is known as vidandavada. Vidandavada means just to say the other person is wrong. So these are the three types of debates, classification. So first is you are debating to know the truth, vada. Then jalpaha is to say, I am only right. You don't listen to the other person. And vidandavada means just to say the other person is wrong. So these are the three. So amongst these three, he says that vadam pravadatamaham. So amongst all these debates, I am vada. The kind of debate, it should be a purposeful debate and to know the truth, not to prove somebody wrong. So this is vadam. And we talk about samvadam. When we close the Gita, we say samvade. That is a dialogue between a guru and the shishya. Again, to know the truth. O Arjuna, know me to be the beginning, middle, and the end of all creation. Amongst the sciences, I am the science of spirituality. And in debates, I am this vada, which is a logical conclusion to know the truth. Shloka number 33. Aksharanam akarosmi dvandvasamasikaśya ca 𝐴�H𝐴V𝐴क्षयः कालः धाताहं विश्वतो मुखः. So here what is he saying? Aksharanam akarosmi. The concept is that there was this unmanifestation in the form of the Nada Brahma, which is the sound reality. From the sound reality, the gross manifestation came about. And the homogeneous subtotal of all the sounds is the Om, and of which the first starting phase is the A. The modifications of A only become the other letters. So everything is created from A, which came from Om, which is actually the reality from which even this gross manifestation of the universe happened. That's why this Om is given so much importance. So that's why he says, Aksharanam akaraha asmi. Akaraha means the beginning letter A. Aksharanam. Amongst the letters, I am letter A. Dvandvaha samasikasya cha. He's talking about the grammatical compounds. Sanskrit, compound words are known as samasa. I'll give you in English a compound word. For example, toothpaste. You have to take the correct meaning. Toothpaste. Is it the paste of the teeth? No. It is the paste used to brush the teeth, right? That's how you will interpret it. Similarly, in Sanskrit also, you have to make the correct interpretation of these compound words. These are called samasa. And in this samasa, there is something called the dvandva. Dvandva samasa, it is called. These will be compound, but the two words in that compound word will have equal weightage, but different meaning. For example, sukha dukhe, labha labho. So sukha dukkha means happiness and the sorrow. Labha labha means the gain and the loss, like that. So I am the dvandva samasa, he says. Aksharanam akaraha asmi dvandva samasikasya cha ahameva akshayaha kalaha. Here he is talking about the akshaya kala. That is the time which is eternal. So I am that akshaya kala because it is equated to mahakala. The hours, seconds and minutes will come to an end. But I am beyond that. I am mahakala. Like that he says. Aham eva akshayaha kalaha dhataham vishwato mukhaha. Dhataham. Dhata means the person who will give. Vishwato mukhaha. What does it mean? It means I am all-faced. That means what does he say? I am the all-faced dispenser. I have my face everywhere. So whatever you do in whichever direction, that karma, I will be the one to dispense it. Nobody can escape my law. Nobody can escape my rules. I am everywhere. I have my face everywhere. Vishwato mukhaha. All facing, and I am the dispenser of all the karma. Like that he says here. So the general translation is, I am the beginning A amongst the letters. I am the dual word in grammatical compounds. I am the endless time. And I am the all-faced dispenser. Shloka number 34. Mrityus sarvaharaschaham udbhavascha bhavishyataam कीर्तिश्रीवाक्च नारीणाम् स्मृतिर्मेधा धृतिः क्षमा. So, few things here. Mrityuhu sarvaharashchaham. We will break. Udbhavascha bhavishyata. Like that we will break the first line. Then the other thing is Dhritihi Kshama. You cannot combine it, nor can you leave out the Visarga. The common practice is to say Dhriti Kshama or Dhriti Shama, something like that, which is wrong. Convention is that we must say it as Dhritihi Kshama. So here what is he saying? 34. Mrityuhu sarvahara chaham. So sarvahara means of all devouring. Explanation is there are two kinds of mrityu. One is when you lose your wealth and the other is when you lose your life. So I am the one who will seize the life. And basically here he is talking about pralaya. At that time I am going to seize everybody's life. Like that I am this mrityu. Of all the devouring things, I am mrityu, I am death. Like that he says. Udbhavaha cha bhavishyata. Udbhavaha cha bhavishyata, it has got two meanings. Udbhavaha can also be taken as the origin of bhavishyata, means what are the things to come in the future. Like that it is taken. And Udbhavaha is also taken as a prosperity. Just how the rain-bearing clouds are attracted to the forest. Like that, the prosperity is attracted to the people who deserve it. Then Kirtihi. So he's talking about the qualities of the female here. So what are the qualities of the female? Kirtihi, that is fame. Shrihi, opulence. Vak, speech. Cha narina. So these are the female qualities. And also he adds some more. Smritihi, memory. Medha, intelligence. Dhritihi, courage. And Shama, forgiveness. So he says that these are all the female qualities. The general translation is, I am the all-devouring death, and I am the origin of those things that are yet to be. And amongst feminine qualities, I am fame, prosperity, fine speech, memory, intelligence, courage, and forgiveness. Shloka number 35. Brihat sama tatha samnam Gayatri chandasamaham Masanam margashirshoham Rutunam kusumakaraha. So here he says Brihat Sama Tata Samna. Tata Samna means he's talking about all the Vedic hymns, and he said that amongst all the Vedas, Vedanam Samavedosmi, like that he said. So amongst all the Vedas, I am Samaveda. Why? It is sung. And even if you do not know, you can still enjoy it. You can still make a connection with it. So he said, amongst all the Vedas, I am Samaveda. In Samaveda, he's talking about something called the Brihat Sama. What was that? It is a part of the Samaveda. And it has got sublime matter, some sublime explanation. This combined with the music, he says that's the best. Among the Samavedas, so I am this Brihat Saman. And then Gayatri Chandasamaham. So Chandasa means he is talking about the poetic meter here. We know that Gayatri is a poetic meter. That is, we call it the Chandas. So how a verse will be recited is dictated by the meter. We cannot add or subtract the syllables as to remain constant. And there will be a way in which it has to be recited. For example, Gayatri Chandas will have 3 rows of 8 syllables. That is known as the Chandas of Gayatri. In certain places, there has to be stops. These are the rules. That is why it is said that it must not be done without instruction. It can cause more harm than good. See, when we need a job, we are asked for a degree, right? Just because we are intelligent, we cannot just go and join a job. You have to show them the certificate. Like that, you need the proper instruction to do these things. So here he is talking about this Chandas. For several deities, this Chandas is used. But the one which is used for Surya is the one which is the most popular. The Gayatri can denote 3 different things. One is the Chandas or the meter. the mantras that go with this chandas are called the Gayatri mantra. So it can denote the mantra also. And then it can denote to the Devata also, the goddess Gayatri. Also it can denote, but here is referring it to the chandas. And the purpose of the Gayatri is either it is mostly used for atonement. What it says is, whatever the sins I have done, erase my sins. Like that, it is a prayer. So for atonement, it is used, and it is also used for purification. The generally used meaning is the one who invokes our intelligence, that Surya Deva, that supreme light, we meditate upon. The general meaning is taken like that. But there is also a Vedantic meaning to this. It says that Ishvara, who is the witness as our Atma, who is the Sat Chit and Ananda, we meditate upon. Brihut Sama Tata Samnam Gayatri Chandasamaham. Masana Margashirshoham. So Margashirsha month, we know that the mid-December to mid-January is the Margashirsha month, and this is the month for the Devas, it is said. So if you do anything in this month, especially the morning hours, it becomes very potent. So the power is amplified. Krishna says here, among the months, I am Margashirsha, and Ritunam Kusmakaraha. Kusmakara means I am the spring. Amongst all the seasons, I am the spring season, because so beautiful, it just shows life. So I am the spring season, like that he says. The general translation is, amongst the hymns in Samaveda, know me to be the Brihat Sama. Among the poetic meters, I am Gayatri. Of the 12 months of the Hindu calendar, I am Margashirsha, and of seasons, I am spring, which brings forth the flowers. 36. Dyutam chalayatam tejas tejasvinamaham jayosmi vyavasayosmi sattvam sattvatamaham. So here he talks about the gambling. Why he talks about gambling? Several explanations are given. Amongst all the deceitful things such as robbery, forging, etc., some gambling sports were actually lawfully permitted, such as gambling with dice. In fact, it was practiced very prevalently. So maybe he highlighted that and he said, Dyutam chalayatamasti. Dyutam means gambling. Or the other explanation is also given that for everything, intelligence is needed. For gambling, definitely you need to be intelligent. Intelligence also is God's vibhuti only. But how you have used your intelligence is not up to the Lord. If you have used it in that way, the God is not tainted. So it is up to you to use your intelligence. Yutam chalayatam tejas tejasvinamaham. Tejas tejasvinamaham means I am the splendor of the splendorous. What Tejas basically means is, when you do certain practices, your aura will enhance and it will be reflected in your physical health. You will have a sense of control, satisfaction and all that, and people can recognize it. If you see the people who are doing spiritual practice, you'll be immediately attracted towards them. It's not because they are wearing the best of clothes or they did a lot of makeup or whatever. You are attracted because of that aura. So this is the tejas that he's talking about, that this automatically comes as a result of being in the spiritual path. Tejas tejasvinamaham. Of all the people who have this tejas, this spiritual aura, that I am. And then Jayosmi. So what is Jayosmi? Jayaha means what is victory. Basically, victory doesn't mean success. Victory means the elimination of bad and the establishment of the good. That is only victory. Victory is not success. So I am that victory. And Vyavasayaha. Vyavasayaha means he's talking about the efforts. The efforts, the firm resolve that is taken in the good direction. That I am. People who have taken the good resolve, who are steadfast, who are firm, all that. Why? Because it is my manifestation. And Sattvam Sattvavatamaham. So of all the virtuous things, of all the gunas, we know that Sattva guna is the best. Of Tamas, Rajas, Sattva is the best. Why? This will what will lead us to God. So if you are in tamas, you are lazy. If you are in rajas, you are always in activity of the world. Only in sattva will you go inside and you will seek the higher things. So I am that sattva, he says. The general translation is, I am the gambling of the cheats and the splendor of the splendid. I am the victory of the victorious, the resolve of the resolute, and the virtue of the virtuous. Shloka number 37. Vrishninam vasudevosmi Pandavanam dhananjayah Muninamapyaham vyasah Kavinamushana kavihi. So he says, Vrishninam Vasudevosmi. Vrishni means a clan. The Yadavas were from the Vrishni clan. Of the Vrishnis, he says Vasudevosmi. So son of Vasudeva, so Vasudeva. Of all these people in the Vrishni, I am the Vasudeva. Then Pandavanam Dhananjaya. So he says, Arjuna, of all the Pandavas, it is Dhananjaya. He didn't say Yudhishthira. He didn't bring any other name. He said Dhananjaya. Several reasons are quoted for this. One is that Dhananjaya means he claimed the hoarded wealth. If we see in the stories, we will know that Mahabharata stories. He went and he collected the wealth from all the kings to be used for good purposes. So he was known as Dhananjaya. And also he was the one, out of all the 5 people, he was the one who got the instruction from Krishna. So that is why he is special. And more spiritual meaning is taken. The message was that he reminds Arjuna that there is no individuality apart from the Lord. So this is a position of all beings. He wants to say that, Arjuna, you are me yourself. Know that. That is the highest meaning we will take. That is beyond even this vibhuti. That meaning can also be taken here. Vrishninam Vasudevosmi Pandavanam Dhananjayah Muninam Apyaham Vyasah. So Vyasa, we know, he was born of Parashara and Satyavati. The Vedas were compiled by Vyasa, and all the Veda Sutras were also composed by him. Mahabharata and the 18 Puranas were given by him, and he was a Brahmajnani. He is also the father of Sukha and considered to be an incarnation of Vishnu. So, because of all that, Krishna says, I am the manifestation as Vyasa. And then he says, Kavina Mushana Kavihi. Kavina means amongst the great thinkers or amongst the people who have intuition. Ushana meaning here Shukracharya. Shukracharya was the one who could bring people who are dead alive. So he had this great power. So Shukracharya is being quoted here. So amongst the descendants of Vrishni, I am Krishna. And amongst the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Know me to be Vedavyasa among the sages and Shukracharya amongst the great thinkers. Shloka number 38. Dando damayatam Nitirasmi jigishata Maunam chaivasmi guhyanam Jnanam jnanavatamaham. So he talks about Dandaha. Dandaha damayatam asmi. Like that he says. Damayatam means amongst the means of preventing lawlessness or keeping everything in order. Dandam, punishment I am. Why does he talk like this? In Shastra, 4 stages are being told. That is, if some wrong is happening, then you should not suddenly go and hit somebody or suddenly go and shout at somebody. You should do 4 things, it is said. The Sama, Dana, Beda and the Danda. Sama means first you should go as a Samadhanam. You should try and talk to them first. If that doesn't work, then Dana, you should say let go of it. Okay, ignore it. Then Beda. Then you should try to remove the strength of the opponent to make him slightly weaker. And then if that also doesn't work, Danda, then the war or the stick to be used. And in Mahabharata also, Krishna, he used all these strategies. And only then they went to war. So I am Dandam, the highest when to bring people in the right track. That time, this punishment must be given. Like that he's saying, Dando damayatam asmi Nitirasmi jigeshatam. Nitihi means a proper contact. Jigeshatam. So, people who are victorious should have the proper contact. I am the Niti. Only then it is called victory. We said, right? The good over the bad is victory, not success. Success can be obtained in any way. But the right way, if you use, that is victory. Niti. I am the proper contact amongst those who seek the victory. Maunam cha eva asmi guhyanam. So, what is it? Guhyanam means amongst the secrets, what I am the Maunam or the silence. Silence is talked about very highly in our scriptures. Even in chapter 9, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, like that he says. So it is a supreme science, it is a supreme secret, he says. So whatever is very valuable will be guarded as a secret. People use silence to hide bad things, but silence can be used actually to hide good things. It seems in a Buddhist monastery, there was a rule that all of them have to eat together. So whatever they had, they will share it and they will eat together. And this was the rule in their monastery. But what was happening was the guru alone, he used to go in his room, lock the room, and he will eat. So this was happening for a lot of time. And the disciples were so curious. Why is this guru doing this? He should not be doing this. The rule is a rule. We should all eat together, like that they thought. And they thought to peep from the hole which was in his room. So the guru came to know it and he was just, trying to hide the hole. Then suddenly one day, somebody from another place, he peeped and looked and he saw that the guru was barely eating. He was eating some dry leaves and some very few dried things. And he kept it a secret to say that he didn't want to show off that I'm doing this great thing. I'm not even eating the food that you are eating, like that. He didn't want to. So he kept it a secret. Maunam chaivasmi guhyanam. So amongst the secrets, I am silence, he says. And Jnanam Jnanavatamaham. Among the wise, what am I? I am knowledge. Why are they wise? Only because of the knowledge they have. So I am the manifestation. So the general translation is, I am just punishment amongst means of preventing lawlessness and proper conduct among those who seek victory. Among secrets, I am silence. And in the wise, I am their wisdom. Shloka number 39. यच्चापि सर्वभूतानां बीजं तदहमर्जुन न तदस्ति विना यत् स्यात् मया भूतं चराचरम्. So on the second line, we will break it as न तदस्ति विना यत् स्यात् मया भूतं चराचरम्. So here what is he saying? Yacchapi sarvabhutana. So he is bringing everything to a close here. Up to this, he was talking about all his specific manifestations. But now he is closing this chapter on this vibhuti. And he says, Yat cha api sarvabhutana. Of all the living beings, Yat cha, whatever is, also, Bijam tadaham Arjuna. I am the seed of all this, O Arjuna. Know that I am the Nimitta Karana, I am the intelligent cause, as well as I am the Upadana Karanam, the material cause. But in the chapter of Vibhuti, the Upadana Karanam was the focus. Okay, you are not able to know me as this intelligent being. Maybe you are not able to see it in this world. Know me in all the manifestations. Know me in what is evident in this world. So that's why I am giving you this example, Arjuna, like that he was saying. So I am both this, I am the Bijam. Natatasti vina yatsyat. Nothing exists without that. Nothing will exist. Maya bhutam chara acharam. So amongst the living and the non-living, it cannot exist without me. I am the seed for everything. Know this truth, like that he is saying. So the general translation is, I am the generating seed of all the living beings, O Arjuna. No creature, moving, non-moving, can exist without me. And shloka number 40. Nantosti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa yesha tuddeshatah proktaha vibhuter vistaro maya. Na antah asti mama divyanam. So I started with this. There is no end to my vibhutis, Arjuna. Like that he started in shloka number 19. Right? The same thing is saying here in shloka number 40. There is no end to my divine glories. But I just gave you some sample. Like that he wants to say. Vibhutanam parantapa, O conqueror of enemies, who is Arjuna. Yeshaha tu uddeshatah proktaha. Yeshaha, but uddeshataha means just a portion, just a sample I am giving you. Proktaha has been declared by me. Vibhutehe vistaraha maya. Of this entire big topic of my divine manifestation, I have just given you a sample. With a few shlokas, I have just given you samples of my highest among all the categories. So you get the idea, like that he is saying. So the general translation is, there is no end to my divine manifestations. O Arjuna, what I have declared to you is a mere sample of my infinite glories. Shloka number 41. Yadyat vibhutimatsatvam Shrimadurjitameva va Tattadevavagachatvam Mama tejomsha sambhavam. What he is saying here is Yatyat vibhuti matsatvam. So Arjuna, I'll give you a clue. He says Yatyat, whatever vibhuti matsatvam, whatever you see as opulent, satvam. Shrimat urjitam evava. Shrimat means whatever is beautiful, whatever is opulent, whatever looks glorious. Urjitam means glorious. Shrimat means beautiful, and vibhutimat means opulent. So if you see any of these qualities, evava, also tattateva avagachatvam. Only avagachatvam, know that mama tejom amsha sambhavam. So he's saying that amsha means just a spark or just a part only I'm showing. In all these splendorous things that you see, you think it is great, right? It's a wow, but it is just like a tiny fraction. Mama tejaha amsha sambhavam. Like it is just born of, sambhavam means born of, amsha means a small fraction or part. Mama teja, of my splendor, it is just a small spark. And the translation is, whatever you see as beautiful, glorious, or powerful, know it to spring from but a spark of my splendor. Shloka number 42. Athava bahunaitena kimnyatena tavarjuna vishtabhyahamidam kritsnam ekamshena sthito jagat. The second line will break it as Vishtabhyaham idam kritsnam ekamshena sthito jagat. So here what he says, Athava bahuna. So bahuna means detail. Etena Athava bahunaitena. That means by this detailed explanation, Kimnyatena tavarjuna. What can be known, O Arjuna? He gave all this, but he's saying, what are you going to know about by this detailed explanation? Like that he's asking. Vishtabhya aham idam kritsnam. So he's making a statement here. I pervade. Vishtabhya means I pervade and support this entire universe. Aham idam kritsnam. This entire universe is supported and pervaded by me. Ekamshena sthitaha jagat. By just one fraction, amsha we said is a fraction. Ekamshena sthitaha jagat. So I am situated, this whole creation, just because of one fraction of my being. It has been supported and pervaded. So general translation is, what need is there for all this detailed knowledge, O Arjuna? Simply know that by one fraction of my being, I pervade and support this entire creation. So in Rigveda it is said, Padasya Vishwa Bhutani Tripadasya Amritam Divi. Like that it is said. What it means is, the material creation of the Lord is only a quarter of the total creation, while the remaining 3/4 is the spiritual sky. Similarly, the message in this sloka is, what are you going to know even knowing all my details? This is just a fraction of my nature or reality. Like that, he closes the chapter. What does it actually mean? These vibhutis are only a stepping stone to understanding his real nature, which is the Nirguna Brahma. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita-Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Vibhuti Yogo Nama Dashamodhyayah Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu.